A kiln is one of those things that you fire pottery in. At least we think. So we're building what you see on the screen right here. This hole in the ground where you feed it with fuel through the bottom and air comes in, and it kind of makes it hotter than a normal fire. So what you need for this is a bucket. That's for processing the clay later. But what you really need are these digging tools back there. I'll show them in a second. Shovels, pickaxes, whatnot. Because southern clay is really hard.
You're also going to need some free labor because it's a hell of a hole.
Yeah. In other places it'll probably take you like 30 minutes to dig this, but I think it took us a whole day. So set aside some of the clay that you're digging out into your bucket. Fill the bucket a third of the way. The rest of the dirt set aside because you're going to need it later. The hole needs to be about a 2 foot deep, maybe. You can see we're just throwing the dirt to the side. And we need to use a pickaxe because it's impossible otherwise. On the other side, you'll need to dig a second hole just about a foot or a foot and a half away. The same depth. And then you know it's the right depth when it's a 1/2 Thomas unit. Just about that deep.
The top half of me goes in the other hole.
So then you're going to connect the two holes at the bottom, digging it out, and then your holes are done. So now it's time to take the leftover dirt you have and start piling it around to make a cylinder kind of shape for the kiln. We used some nature scaffolding because it's tough to keep that stuff from falling in.
And then we gave up on that idea and just grabbed whatever junk we had.
Rocks, cinder blocks, who cares? You can pile the dirt around it and mold it like Play-Doh, like Thomas is doing here.
It's very soothing.
Keep building it all the way up. You're going to want to make it a couple feet up in the air. So that way your whole structure is like 4 feet, including underground. Make it round. Doesn't look round here, but sure is mud. Wet the clay so it can form better. And that's what the end product should look like. You can see the hole in the bottom where the air comes through. And you feed it with your firewood down at the bottom as well. And you stick your pottery down in the middle and it gets hot. So with that tub of clay, you're going to want to fill up the rest of the 2/3 with water. And this is going to help you kind of skim away the rocks and the sand and the rest of the junk. And maybe you can actually make clay out of it. So stir it up and make a soup. Part was really gross.
Yeah. Big whole bucket of diarrhea.
So now it's time to start setting the mud. So throw some firewood in there and get a fire going.
This is the fun part. Your 12 hours of digging is going to be worth it.
So get your neighbors, get your friends, get your coworkers. Tell them they're going to dig or they're not going to eat tonight.
They may get rowdy.
Kind of looks like a volcano. You can see Thomas here entering a portal to the underworld.
This is one of my favorite scenes from Jacob's Ladder.
That fire should burn for a good 10 hours. So we covered it with this street sign that happened to be there, abandoned.
That kind gentleman donated it to us. We don't know where he got it, but he brought us that sign.
When it's all done, well then you got a big rock It's solid and it won't fall apart. And then you're able to put your pottery in there and make some bowls, I guess. I don't know. But so, a couple weeks later, came back, and now in the next video we're going to fill in all these cracks that you see. It rained plenty of times between the last clip and this one. So you see it's kind of crumbling a bit here and there, but overall it's still standing up. It's pretty great.
I just want to use this thing to cook chickens. You need a big sheet of aluminum to cut out the floor pans and your hot rock, place it, make it lightweight.
Look, the city abandoned this thing. It's been sitting down there for like 6 months.
Don't let Chicken Jolly catch up to you.
He's got no jurisdiction out here. I'd like to see him try. Ding!
It didn't sizzle, I'm disappointed.
Because you didn't hit the middle. Ding!
This is some very good
Dang it!
stuff here.
You good enough? That's it. It's just not hot anymore.